Feel like I'm about to cause a little bit of outrage. I know. Chill out, relax. Tobey Maguire's the best Spider-Man. I said it. I know. That's gonna make a lot of people upset. I understand. I completely understand. I get it. Let me just explain why, okay? All right. So let me break this down. So Andrew Garfield, I think, had he did a good job as Peter Parker, but he did not capture what I think Peter Parker should be. Because and like I said, I'm not blaming Andrew for this, but this is just reality. Andrew felt too much like he was an athlete, he was, confident in himself, he was overzealous with himself, which is fine when he's Spider-Man. Actually, dare I say, Andrew is perfect as Spider-Man. I will dare say that when he's in costume, Andrew is the perfect Spider-Man. Tom Tom is okay, but I think the thing about Tom is that Tom does not capture like he's okay as Spider-Man. He's fine. He doesn't really talk all that much, but he's okay as Spider-Man and he's an okay Peter Parker. But Tom's thing is that he was too attached to the hip to Iron Man, I think, in order for him to really stand out. That's what I think another issue is. So, getting those 2 out of the way, you have to look at Tobey Maguire, and I think the one co there's a few reasons, but the first concrete reason that I can think of is that Toby absolutely nails Peter Parker, and you cannot have a successful Spider-Man story if you don't get the person behind the mask right, whoever that might be, and in this case, it was Peter Parker, and I think the thing that really solidified it is that Peter, especially in Spider-Man 2, life is beating him up. Life is destroying him at every single turn. He can't be with the girl that he loves. He cannot keep a solid job. He can't, you know, he can't even get to school on time and he's failing his classes. Normal world, real people stuff. That's relatable stuff. And the twist is the reason that he can't do any of this is because he has a responsibility as Spider-Man. He made a promise to his uncle. With great power comes great responsibility. That's the whole thing. That's the core of Spider-Man. And I think that Toby, his Spider-Man captures that the absolute best about the whole responsibility thing. Is especially in Spider-Man 2 because we get this character arc for Toby where he loses his powers and it's a mental block in his head. And sure, he's happy for maybe like a week or two, however long it takes, it however long it is, but he starts to realize that well, MJ wasn't into him or MJ wasn't gonna be with him regardless anyway until she realizes that he was different for some reason. I don't know, it's dumb. But the the crux of the matter is that Peter learns in the story and probably my favorite scene in all of the Raimi movies, in fact, in all of the Spider-Man movies, my favorite scene is in Spider-Man 2 where Toby goes into a burning building without his powers and saves a little girl. Because the core of the character, the core of the story is always about responsibility. And that's what the Toby movies got right. That's what the Toby movies did perfectly. Is they showed that Peter Parker will do what's right no matter what. And in Spider-Man 2, after he defeats Doc Ock and he saves Mary Jane, Peter is more than willing. He is more than willing to, for real, actually give up MJ. He he is actually more than willing to give her up in order to live a life of responsibility, which I think is a beautiful thing. Toby's Spider-Man and Peter learns to sacrifice for the greater good. Now he gets the girl at the end of the movie. Don't any of you worry about that. But it's still a show of responsibility that I think, and Andrews does it too at the end of his second movie. I mean, he's able to go on without Gwen, but the problem with Andrews is that the selfishness of him keeping Gwen in his life caused her to die, which is just kind of stupid. And then Tom's he it feels like he's a superhero because it's cool to be one, not because he wants to do the right thing. Now, No Way Home fleshed out his character a little bit more, but we haven't gotten to see what's new with him yet and how, his Spider-Man will be different from, any of the rest. The thing about Andrew's Spider-Man is that An- Andrews was fine in the first movie, but then in the second movie, the problem was that he couldn't have the responsibility and he just couldn't let Gwen go. He couldn't let Gwen go. And it caused her to die. And Peter's not selfish like that. Because when he's not being written by Dan Slott, he's not selfish. And the thing with Tom Holland's Peter is that he's too focused on trying to be cool. He's too focused on being a fanboy that he doesn't feel like a superhero. He feels like a dude who's chasing after all of the Avengers trying to get their autographs and stuff like that. Whereas Toby's just out here doing what he can to try to save New York City, and he's being responsible, and because of his responsibility, he ends up getting what he wants at the end of it all. Because he was responsible, he got rewarded for it. And that, I think, is why it is important to always be responsible. And if you agree with me that Tobey Maguire is the best Spider-Man, or if you think that someone else is, comment. Make sure to like and subscribe. I want to hear. I want to hear conversation. I want to hear what y'all think. Until next time, I'll see y'all around.